the Androscoggin River Valley, the people, the places, the events, the history, all that makes up the vibrant story of the towns of the Androscoggin River Valley from Lewiston, Auburn through Mexico, Rumford, and Bethel to New Hampshire.
Welcome to the June 2017 edition of Today River Valley. Today River Valley is the video news feature program for the towns of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine. My name is Phil Blampede. I'm the host and producer of the program. In this edition, we're going to be looking at the Meals on Wheels program in western Maine. Meals on Wheels is a program which sends 500 meals a day, 4 days a week to shut-ins and people unable to cook for themselves all over western Maine. Plans to cut the federal budget coming out of Washington, however, threaten either to severely reduce or even end the program. Would that matter? We're going to be taking a look at that question. Then we're going to reacquaint you with a gentleman by the name of Dick Gosselin. Dick Gosselin is a veteran TV news journalist who worked for all three of the major TV stations in the Portland, Maine market, as well as one in Boston. We're going to be talking to him about his 50 years in local broadcasting. All that and more after a few messages from local businesses.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
Make the Sudbury Inn your headquarters for your next trip to Bethel. Centrally located downtown, this charming 19th century inn is right in the middle of shopping, skiing, fine dining, and all other Bethel attractions. Accommodations range from a full apartment with its own fireplace to deluxe two-room suites to single rooms. And you don't have to go far to find the best of Bethel, from fine dining in the main dining room to pub fare and live music in the popular Suds Pub to a bistro menu and bar in Bistro 151, featuring light fare with a creative flair. Chicken roulade, boneless breast of chicken stuffed with goat cheese, prosciutto, and asparagus served on a bed of spinach in a sauce poulet. Salmon and sorrel sauce, a classic French dish served in cream sauce flavored with sorrel. Blackened sea bass with a cucumber salsa, citrus glazed veal short ribs with an Asian sauce. The Sudbury Inn is family friendly, can accommodate pets, and as the magazine Bon Appetit put it, is the perfect way to end a day in Bethel. Call today for more information.
Picture the name and logo of your business or organization on an attractive polo shirt, windbreaker, cap, or t-shirt. Then come by Perfect Stitch on Route 26 in South Paris, where you can turn that vision into a reality. Perfect Stitch is the place to go in western Maine for embroidery, screen printing, and promotional items. With full-scale production right on site, Perfect Stitch can fill any order from a single shirt to dozens of them. Offering advertising and promotional items as well, Perfect Stitch is the one-stop shop for all your promotional needs.
I'm Amy Ford. I own and operate Perfect Stitch Embroidery. Come on in and see the wide variety of products we offer at our showroom at 191 Park Street in South Paris. We can help you figure out what products would fit your needs best. Hope to see you soon.
Let's look at a couple of businesses from Turner, Maine. For nearly 7 decades, the residents of western Maine have turned to Goodwin Well and Water, Maine's leader in water well drilling, pump installation, water treatment systems, and geothermal. When you choose Goodwin Well and Water, you choose a powerful combination of engineering minds, excellent workmanship, and exceptional customer service. Remember last year, don't get caught dry again. Call Goodwin Well and Water for a free consultation today. After such a long winter, you deserve to get out on the road with an RV or trailer from Scott's Recreation. Browse our lots or check our website at scottsrecreation.com. We have the newest Alpine, Big Country, Elk Ridge, Mission trailers, Snowcrow trailers, and fifth wheel models, as well as many pre-owned models. Scott's Recreation, serving you since 1994 with current locations on Route 4 in Turner, Maine and Route 202 in Manchester, Maine.
Hi, I'm Roger Whitehouse, owner and designated broker of Riverside Realty here in Mexico, Maine. The Maine State Housing Authority has just identified Mexico as the most affordable place to live in the state of Maine. Where's Mexico? Right here where Riverside Realty is, where we have the most affordable prices of homes, multi-units, commercial properties, and vacation homes. Let's take a look.
This is MLS 130-12110, a highly visible freestanding commercial building on Route 2 in Mexico, right before the Dixfield town line, with 930 square feet of space and approximately 600 square feet above for expansion.
all on 1.55 acres with river views and 21 off-street parking spaces. Currently used as a restaurant, but only building and land is for sale with all equipment, listed at $165,000. This is MLS 1298159, a 1943 farmhouse on the state road in a rural section of Roxbury, Maine, with 3 bedrooms plus an enclosed porch and an attached one-car garage. There's a back deck, above-ground pool, and a shed on 3 acres, listed at $149,975.
My staff of 6 has over a combined work history of over 100 years. We're here to serve you. Whether you're considering buying or selling real estate, call Riverside Realty at 369-0100. Hope to see you soon.
It's Connie's Place for generous portions of great home-style cooking at reasonable prices, right on Congress Street on the island in downtown Rumford. Come try the Reuben sandwich, or the generous nachos, or the sumptuous onion rings. Connie's Place, where families meet to eat.
This is Connie Asno, and we look forward to serving you in our historical downtown Rumford restaurant.
Hi, I'm Lisa Shardlow from Lisa's Barbershop in Mexico, Maine. You're watching Today River Valley, the video news feature program for the towns of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
At 5 a.m. every Monday through Thursday, the cooks that over 500 people depend on show up at the National Guard Armory Kitchen on Alfred Pleward Parkway in Lewiston, Maine, and turn on the stoves to supply a delivery system almost as regular as the post office, except that what's being delivered are nutritious meals, not the mail. It's the area's Meals on Wheels program, sending well-balanced meals out over thousands of miles of roads in 3 counties in western Maine. Meals on Wheels in Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties is run by the area's official Agency on Aging, Seniors Plus of Lewiston.
I think they're incredibly important, the Meals on Wheels, to the recipients. My name is Betsy Sawyer-Manter, and I'm the CEO at Seniors Plus. The recipients of Meals on Wheels are people who, we don't test for income. It's not an income-tested program. But most of the people who are on the program are people of limited means or fixed incomes. The importance to them is that they can't prepare a meal for themselves. Either they don't have the ability to prepare a meal because they can't stand for long times, or they may get dizzy as they stand. They may be in a wheelchair. They may have other disabilities that cause it so that they're not able to make their own meals. They don't have someone else that can make it for them. Many people don't have family living close by, so they're reliant on either neighbors or help from others, and many are very socially isolated. So I think the impact for them is that they get a nutritious meal each day, and that it has 1/3 of the daily requirements for nutrition that an adult needs. Secondly, it's a safety check. We make sure they haven't fallen, which has happened before, and also social. It's a social visit. I went on a Meals on Wheels run when I first started this job, and the thing I noticed the most about the meals, people were happy to receive their meal. They were more happy for the visit. They loved their Meals on Wheels driver.
But it is a program at risk, serving only 500 people in a 3-county area with a population of over 200,000. It is not always visible to the general public, and it's been an inviting target for recent federal budget cutting plans. The entire yearly Meals on Wheels budget in western Maine is under $900,000, not even enough to pay 1/3 of the cost of one weekend trip to Mar-a-Lago by President Donald Trump. But 500 recipients doesn't add up to a lot of votes. Can Meals on Wheels survive in the current political climate? And should it?
If we lost federal funding, I don't think we could run a Meals on Wheels program in the capacity we run it now. The federal money is pretty reliable, generally speaking. However, this year we're a little uncertain because there are, in the president's budget, some pretty deep cuts that are proposed for Department of Health and Human Services on the federal level.
If the government decides programs have to be cut, it's not hard to see why Meals on Wheels might be among those targeted. With over 200,000 living in western Maine, only 500 people are being served by Meals on Wheels. And if the point is to get food to people, driving it all over the region every day is a very expensive way to do it. The food itself costs less than $150,000 in the year summed up in the most recent report. The remaining money, nearly $750,000, is for labor, transportation costs, and other overhead. And the labor might even be higher, except that most of the people driving the food to the recipients are volunteers.
There are Meals on Wheels volunteers that deliver meals, pack meals, work in the kitchen, do lots of things for Meals on Wheels.
Speaking of volunteers, as I said before, probably about 75% of our drivers are volunteers. Throughout the 3 counties, we have over 500 volunteers that help us with the Meals on Wheels program. We could not do that without them. It's such a big help to have all that help.
The drivers are wonderful people, people of all ages. They come in here, they're just looking to help out the community, so they give their free time and come in and deliver meals for us. Some of the people that come in are also agency volunteers, people who work with special needs adults. Their coaches will come in with their group and they'll go deliver meals as a group also. So it's a win-win situation for us. We give them a little bit of on-the-job training and we get the help that we need.
You compensate mileage or anything like
Absolutely, yes. We do compensate mileage at the state rate of 44 cents a mile.
We only have so much money each year to serve so many meals, and as the number keeps increasing, we usually get to that certain point where we have to decide that at that point, we're at our maximum amount of consumers. Usually are comfortable around 420 to 450 consumers. Our count was up over 500 when we finally enacted the wait list. I think we were at about 525 consumers on January 1st when we enacted the wait list. So it's just only so much food that we can put out there. And even at that time, we're still doing everything we can to cut back costs within the kitchen. We had to shave back some hours of the staff. We're shopping at Good Shepherd Food Bank that much more often just to make our dollar stretch even further.
Budget cutters with their eyes on reducing or eliminating Meals on Wheels, however, may be blind to something larger than just saving a small amount of money in the short term. Getting a regular meal keeps many people out of the hospital and out of the nursing home.
So yes, it's the food. Food's critical, really important. Keeps people from going into hospitals, keeps people from being re-hospitalized, but those social contacts and that well-being check are also just as important. There would be a greater impact on cost to society. People would go into nursing homes more frequently. We know there's a Brown University study that says that people who get Meals on Wheels are less likely to go into nursing homes as soon as others who are not on Meals on Wheels. So we know that. That's been proven. So I would say nursing home utilization would increase. I would say that people probably wouldn't live as long. And I would say that people would have more chronic health conditions that would ultimately, it's going to cost us more.
The cost of a year's delivery of Meals on Wheels to a single recipient in western Maine is roughly $1,500. The cost of a year's stay in a nursing home is roughly 60 times more, up to $90,000 or more. If even 10 of the 500 meals recipients had to go into a nursing home because the program were discontinued, the cost would be greater than the entire current yearly budget of Meals on Wheels in western Maine.
My name is Carrie Ann DeWinel. I worked for Seniors Plus for 10 years. I am the Meals on Wheels Assessor Coordinator, and I also deliver Meals on Wheels to our homebound consumers. Even the doctors are impressed with how much their health improved with getting the Meals on Wheels. It keeps them out of the nursing home, so they're able to stay at home. I don't know, I guess I love what we do. It's a rewarding job for the seniors and the disabled.
Bill never did like cell phones that much.
I never did like cell phones that much.
Bill even had nightmares about being chased by giant cell phones. But then one day he happened to stop into the wireless zone in Mexico, Maine, just to get out of the rain. Before he knew it, he was dazzled by the variety of phones, from Apple to Motorola to Samsung. He wanted to know more, but didn't want to sound dumb, asking silly questions.
Do you have any questions?
Well, I don't really want to sound silly.
Don't worry. There are no silly questions at the Verizon Wireless Zone in Mexico, Maine.
So it was, he found a phone and a service plan that left him saying something he never thought he'd say.
You know, I do like cell phones.
Remember, at the Verizon Wireless store in Mexico, we're always striving to be your cell phone provider of choice.
June is here and the hot weather is coming on fast. There's still plenty of time to order a pool or spa from Coulthard's on the River Road in Mexico, Maine. What better way to cool off than with something from Coulthard's great selection of Caldera spas? Caldera has been among the most trusted names in spas and has earned a reputation for delivering the utmost in comfort, performance, and style. Come take a look at our new line of spas, including the 3-person Kauai and the 7-person Selena. Or consider the reasonably priced tubs by Nordic. Whatever your price range, we have a tub for you. Of course, the perfect complement to that spa is your own sauna. Coulthard's carries TheraSaunas, an American-made brand with soothing infrared heat. There's nothing like a sauna for improving skin tone, reducing cellulite, and just plain relaxing. Coulthard's, 32 years in business on the River Road in Mexico, Maine. Call 364-POOL and visit the showroom soon. Thinking about hardware and lumber for spring and summer projects? Consider the Numbers at Puya Lumber. The Numbers show a locally owned store with prices often competitive with chain and box stores. The Numbers show savings on gas and time by buying locally. The Numbers show even more savings with free delivery on orders over $50. Consider the Numbers at Puya Lumber. Buying locally can add up nicely. Puya Lumber, 369 River Road, Route 2, Mexico, Maine. Call 364-9999.
At Dan's Automotive, you'll find reliable used cars priced from $3,000 up. You'll get more car for less money.
Here's a great example of what's available at Dan's. Warning, this may be sold by the time you see this ad, but if you get lucky, you may still have a chance at this 2005 Dodge Ram 150 in mint condition with low miles and one owner, offered well under book value at $7,995.
We bought our car at Dan's and we're glad we did.
Dan's Automotive Repair and Sales, Crescent Avenue, Rumford.
Excuse me, sir, are you getting a little shaggy around the ears but can't find time for a haircut? Well, now you can. At Lisa's Barbershop at 178 Main Street in Mexico, owner Lisa Shardlow specializes in quick haircuts. No appointment is necessary and there's rarely a wait. At Lisa's, the motto is cut and go.
June is here and it's time for weddings and graduations. Make sure you look your best for these special occasions with a haircut here at Lisa's Barbershop.
Open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon.
Be sure you have a fresh new haircut this month, especially if the wedding or graduation is your own.
The news is spreading fast about the superb Thai, Asian, and American cooking at The Lure restaurant in Rumford, Maine, right off Route 2 by the shopping center with Martin's. Located in the former Tina's restaurant, The Lure features skillfully prepared Thai and Asian specialties, plus seafood and some great American dishes as well, such as all-American fried clams. Owners Ned and Dee Dee serve up generous portions with the freshest ingredients, and now the outside deck is open for dining. Have a meal in the sun with an on-tap glass of Pinot Grigio or Pinot Noir. Plenty of parking, open for lunch or dinner Tuesday through Sunday.
Come to The Lure. One bite and you'll be hooked.
Reporting live from Boston City Hall Plaza, Dick Gosselin, News Center 5.
His face is one of those you've seen so often on the television screen that he almost seems like a neighbor.
The idea behind the parade is to honor all the Olympians, but the stars at Wednesday's parade will be the New England Olympians. 20 of them will be there.
For 50 years, Dick Gosselin was a presence in radio and television broadcasting in Maine, New Hampshire, and the Boston area. Now, he is a neighbor, retired from broadcasting and living in South Portland with various connections to the River Valley area.
Thank you very much, and welcome to So You Think You Know Maine.
Recently, he took time to look back over a half-century of being on the air.
I just fell for it. It was a wonderful idea. The thought that my aunt was a radio station groupie, and I spent a lot of time with her. And we'd go by the radio station in Rochester, New Hampshire, WWNH. And I remember just gawking at the station when we were driving by on Route 16 and thinking, wow, there's a guy in there, and if he opens the mic and says, boo, 1 million radios everywhere are going to go boo, 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 boo. You know, and that concept just blew my mind, fascinated me.
Dick Gosselin started his broadcasting career in his hometown of Somersworth, New Hampshire, with a volunteer job reading the news over local radio station WTSN.
It was a local newscast that was done from the offices of the Somersworth Free Press over WTSN in Dover. And one of the things I picked up on was that the editor of the newspaper was never there on Saturdays. So as a sophomore in high school, I knocked on the door, went in there, and I said, listen, I noticed you're never there on Saturdays. Is there any chance I could do that? Oh, well, boy, you seem awful young. Well, I'm a sophomore in high school, but he said, you do have a nice timbre to your voice. And he said, tell you what, why don't you come in on Saturday, and I'll show you what I do. Great. I won't be able to pay you anything. Oh, that's okay. I didn't expect to be paid. I just want to get on the air. So he had me do everything from the get-go. He said, okay, make some calls to the police station, fire department, find out what went on overnight. You know, I don't know. I walked in at 9 o'clock. He told me to make some phone calls, and at 12:30, I was on the air.
Gosselin got his first paying job at a small radio station in Sanford, Maine, then worked in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and did a stint in the Army before landing a position at WCSH-TV Channel 6, the job which made him familiar to audiences in Maine.
Then I came to Channel 6 in 1972, and I was a booth announcer. We had an announcer, a guy that was a booth. I was a booth announcer. I was the last live booth announcer at Channel 6. To sign off the air. I sat in the booth. I'd love that job now, but it doesn't exist now. And I didn't like it then because I wanted to get in the news. You know, I didn't want to sit there in a booth and read taglines to commercials. And the job was to answer the phone, do the announcements in the booth. Yes, you always do better at days. And do the IDs on the hour, WCSH TV, Channel 6, Portland. And do the 11 o'clock weather. No meteorologist in those days. And then eventually I got into the news department, and I ended up working, doing So You Think You Know Maine on Maine Public Television. I actually worked for all three Portland stations at one time. One day for WGME. What was really exciting was I was able to pull it all off without any academic credentials beyond high school. And barely high school. I mean, I would have had to go another year, for 5 years, if I hadn't carried the flag in the school band for a quarter credit and a few other quarter credit things. And that, most people graduate from high school with excess credits. I had exactly enough to graduate. And my parents were all worried about, well, shouldn't you be going to school for this? Shouldn't you do that? How are you going? And I had done so much job shadowing, hanging out at radio stations, talking to people. I guess I just was so passionate that there was a lot of monkey see, monkey do. You know, I was hearing these mentors of mine, and I was imagining me doing what they were doing. And I think that somehow generated a style.
One school committee member was asked how he felt about the superintendent's salary being raised to within just a few $1,000s of what the vice president of the United States makes. Daniel Burke said, well, given the two workloads, I'd say the superintendent is underpaid. In this community, after all, he must walk on water, both when it is frozen and when it is not. Reporting live from Boston City Hall Plaza, Dick Gosselin, News Center 5.
After about a decade at Channel 6, Gosselin began to get job offers from larger places, including Cincinnati and Detroit. Not wanting to move that far, he applied and got a position at Boston's WCVB-TV, Channel 5. There he had some encounters that might have been a little less friendly than were common in Maine.
And I've covered funerals of high school kids who died having a heart attack on the track while playing track. And we were all there with our cameras at one place, and the mother went walking by, and the mother and an aunt said, "Show some respect," you know. And I didn't say anything, but I wanted to say, listen, did you tell that to the newspaper guy that had the picture in the paper this morning? You know, and so what's this thing about TV? Does that make us bad guys or what, you know?
Gosselin returned to Maine in the late 1980s, where he worked as the host of So You Think You Know Maine, a quiz show on the Maine Public Broadcasting Network.
Let's start building some points here in our round number one. Here's our first toss-up. Of what political affiliation was the first governor of Maine, Barry?
A Whig?
No, I'm sorry. Republican. William King was a Republican.
In 1996, Gosselin returned to the news as a reporter for WMTW-TV Channel 8, where he covered a story which he says now was the one that affected him the most.
Probably the most emotional story was Colebrook, New Hampshire. And it was so moving. How this guy could just go berserk and shoot 2 state troopers and a judge and one of the newspaper office employees when he jumped on his back and tried to stop him. And he shot him. And he said, that'll teach you to mind your own business. That many people killed by a guy who went berserk. Probably the most moving story I ever did. Yeah, we had a satellite truck. 6 and 13 didn't have one yet. So locally, we were all over that story. And we parked on the street, stayed at a B&B there, and that was I can't tell you how many troopers showed up for that funeral. They flooded the street, and and I took everything I had, newspaper articles from that story, and I put it in a drawer at home where it remains to this day.
In 2003, Gosselin transitioned from being in front of the camera to being behind it, spending his last 10 years in broadcasting following another passion he'd developed, being a videographer.
It's taken from caveman days to now to get video where you can do what I can now do at home, which is what I'm going to want to do until I die. Tell stories I've always wanted to tell, not for a TV station, just for people. Hey, I made a bunch of DVDs of this story. Hey, I think you'd like this.
If there's a common thread in Gosselin's career, it's what he told the audience at the very end of the final broadcast of So You Think You Know Maine.
And so, for the last time, I'm Dick Gosselin, reminding you, find what interests you, and do it. Thank you for watching.
When you visit Western Maine, step out of the ordinary. Stay in Victorian splendor at Holiday House Bed and Breakfast, where our guests relax in the elegant surroundings true to the style and atmosphere of 100 years ago. It's your Victorian home away from home. Holiday House Bed and Breakfast, right on Main Street in the center of Bethel Village. Open year-round.
The Jolly Drayman Pub and the Briarley Inn, a gracious inn in Bethel, Maine, with an authentic British pub featuring classic pub fare.
This is Helena at the Jolly Drayman Briarley Inn. Stop by, come to see us. Looking forward to your visit.
After dinner, indulge yourself with a stay in one of the comfortable rooms upstairs in the Briarley Inn, featuring cuddly blankets, down feather pillows, soft linens, fluffy towels, and casual rustic decor. The Jolly Drayman, the authentic British pub in Bethel, Maine, located in the Briarley Inn. Yes, there is a health food store in Rumford, Maine. Good Karma Cafe and Health Food.
Hi, we're Glenn and Sandy Gordon, owners of Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods at 72 Congress Street in Rumford, Maine. Check us out on Facebook, goodkarmahealthfoods.com, hashtag eat well, live well, hashtag be kind, do good, eat spinach.
You should see the reviews on Facebook.
Excellent food and superb service.
Taste the freshness.
So pleased to have this much-needed establishment.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods, open Monday through Saturday.
Mountain Valley Variety at Four Corners in Rumford, known as the happiest corner in town, is twice as happy with a new expansion that has more than doubled its size. If there's a cold beverage, you'll find it here with 20 cooler doors and the coldest and largest beer cave in Maine.
Hi, I'm Rick from Mountain Valley Variety in Rumford. I want to welcome you to my brand new beer cave. We have over 500 items in all. Whatever you want, we either have or we can get.
Head to Mountain Valley Variety for grab-and-go pizza, sandwiches, lobster rolls, hot foods. Don't forget the hand-cut steaks if you're grilling out tonight.
Come on down to Mountain Valley Variety and see us all.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
Well, that's it for the June 2017 edition of Today River Valley. This is Phil Blampede, the host and producer of the program. Remember that at any time you can watch this edition as well as previous editions on our website, todayrivervalley.com. Well, summer is upon us at last. Make the most of it, friends. See you in July.